Good morning, colleagues. Apologies, we're waiting for the doctor to join. In a minute, we will start.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can all hear me. Please let Naledi know if you're having any difficulties with hearing me or if it's not coming through clearly. Let me introduce myself. My name is Clive Ashpole, and I'm the Acting Project Manager of the Property Sector Research Centre of the PPRA. I wish warmly to welcome all our participants to this webinar and wish in particular to extend a special thank you and welcome to Refilwe Mashiko, who is a Senior Specialist, Government Resources and Programs of the National Research Foundation. The NRF, the National Research Foundation, is indeed a valued and greatly appreciated partner of the PPRA in all its research programs and initiatives, and of course also the present research that is being conducted by our postdoctoral researcher, Dr. Sibo Mngomezulu, into the professionalism of the property practitioner sector. Refilwe's assistance and expertise is always highly valued, and together with the National Research Foundation's strong background in research and analysis, has ensured that the PPRA provides a comprehensive insights into the property practitioner sector, promotes best international and local best practices, and contributes to the sustainable development of the sector. Now, without any further ado, I would like to welcome again Refilwe Mashiko and ask her to make her introductory remarks to the present research project we are conducting in partnership with the National Research Foundation. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Clive, for those welcome remarks. I really appreciate it, and I think it also just highlights how well we work together in transforming the property sector. I must apologize before I start, is that I'm just in a bit of a busy area, currently at a conference, so I had to make arrangements to find a quiet spot, and this is the best I could find. But yeah, just to provide a small background on the PPRA NRF partnership, we had entered into this partnership to ensure that we do our bit with the PPRA to transform the property sector. And we realized that research is quite critical in wanting to transform any sector. So this is why we ended up drafting an MOU and agreeing on specific themes that we would partner on. And this study is just one of the research themes that we had decided to partner on. So I think that's the only thing I'll speak onto on regarding the partnership between NRF and PPRA, just so that I don't take up too much time for us to have the discussion. But yeah, just to introduce perhaps our speaker, our very valuable speaker. I'm very pleased to be afforded the opportunity to introduce Dr. Sibongani Mngomezulu, who is a postdoctoral fellow under the DSI NRF Postdoctoral Fellowship Program. It's a pilot program which aims to strategically place researchers in government departments and public entities to support policy processes while building the capacity of our researchers to effectively work hand in hand with government departments to address social challenges. such as the property sector, issues of human settlement, urban planning, and so forth. So as a postdoc fellow, Dr. Mngomezulu has contributed greatly towards the research activities of the PPRA, specifically in establishing and realizing the activities of the Property Sector Research Center, which is one of the areas we are collaborating with PPRA. So PPRA is quite a strategic partner of the NRF, and that is why we had decided to have a postdoc fellow who will be dedicated to the research activities of the PPRA and NRF partnership. So today, Dr. Mngomezulu will be sharing her current research study conducted under the partnership, titled Assessing Professionalism in the Property Sector of South Africa. The study addresses key issues such as barriers to entry for historically disadvantaged groups and the development of policy frameworks to elevate professionalism within the industry, within the property sector industry. I hope at the conclusion of this engagement, you will all have a better understanding of not only the role of PPRA in transforming the property sector, but also the critical role of research and its role in the whole scheme of things in terms of transformation. So this not only extends just to transforming the knowledge around PPRA, but the actual impact that PPRA can achieve in terms of making an impact in areas such as human settlements and urban planning and so forth. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Dr. Mngomezulu to present the research study. But yeah, thank you, colleagues, and I look forward to the discussions today. Thank you.
Thank you, Refile, for such a nice presentation or introduction. I'll just start sharing my presentation on my side. Okay. Okay, is my presentation visible on your side? Please just give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I would just like to start by greetings. I would just like to acknowledge and also greet my esteemed colleagues from the PPRA. I also like to acknowledge the Nelson Mandela University, of which I'm affiliated with. I also like to acknowledge and appreciate our partners, which is the NRF and the DSI. So without further ado, I also like to also greet our property practitioners and all other stakeholders. So in our today's session, it's just based on exploring the survey for our current research, which is trying to assess the professionalism in the property sector in South Africa. So this will just be a quick presentation from my side. But the key focus is just to explain and also explore the online survey. Hoping out of this, both myself and my team is just hoping to improve our data collection tool. Hopefully that will guarantee our data collection that will collect databases of high value or of high quality. So I'll move to my presentation outline. So the presentation outline, I'll just go through the background of the study, our targeted participants, the research ethics that we adhere to on this research, and then the tools that we use for the data collection, then the structure of our questionnaire. Then I'll open the floor for questions after my presentation. Then I will conduct a dry run for our questionnaire. After that, we have another session where we'll have a Q&A session to address any issues that may have arisen from you attempting to answer the questionnaire. So I also like to emphasize that if you have any question or recommendation, you can easily post on our chat. Your feedback will be highly valuable. So based on the the background of the study. As I've highlighted, we're trying to assess the professionalism in the property sector of South Africa. The aim is to understand the impacts and barriers of professionalization. So with that, for our study to be successful, we need to meet certain objectives. Our first objective is trying to identify the current level of professionalism within the property sector, followed by the objectives to determine the level of professionalism within each of the regulated subsector of the property sector. So if you can just observe the first two objectives, they align. So you'll see also on my next slide that we have the targeted participants. We are seeking individuals who are practicing or who are active in the field, either formally or informally. And yes, you might be practicing in the sector, but we are trying to understand at what capacity are you practicing at, and are you registered? If not, what seems to be the reason? And if you are in the process of registration, how can we assist you to fast track the process? Then followed by our third objective, which is to identify potential barriers to entry in the property sector from previously disadvantaged individuals or groups. So what we've observed over the years is that our sector has not transformed. So according to our database, we saw that just 3 out of the 9 provinces which is Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, and Cape Town, represent 80% of our database. There seems to be a barrier to entry. And as you can see from the percentage that we have, it's based on the location itself, the race, and the gender. So we want to identify the exact barriers using this questionnaire. Our fourth objective is to identify the components of professionalism that are critical for property practitioners to adapt successfully to the professional standards while meeting the organizational needs and safeguarding consumers. So there was a limitation on this study. Unfortunately, we do not have a database for consumers, but with the help of research and as we try to improve our system, we will have that one day, but it's part of our limitation. So we are looking into whether or not property practitioners are following the code of conduct of the industry and the ethics. And then our last objective is to explore ways in which professionalism can be utilized to benefit all sectors, participants, and advance the interests of the previously disadvantaged groups or persons. So we also want to know what are the benefits for professionals that are practicing as professionals in the sector. So the overall aim of this study is to enhance and improve the professionalism of the property industry. This will further influence the property sector's policy framework as it develops and advances programs to educate and reach out to the disadvantaged communities. We have already begun with the process of the policy brief, and our practitioners will play a critical role on the success of the policy brief. It is currently with the HSRC, so we will highly value your thoughts, your suggestions, and recommendation on how we can improve the sector. So this is based on our targeted participants. I've already highlighted that our participants that we're targeting is the property practitioners in South Africa, whether you're practicing in a formal or informal way. We're also targeting potential new entrants to the sector who are currently enrolled in any post-matric property-related programs or who have just recently graduated. As you can see that we are aiming to interview or to get feedback from the experts. So this is to prevent that the data that we collect is not partially missing or unreliable. We're also avoiding data points that are significantly different from the rest of the data. We're also trying to avoid having samples that do not represent the population being studied. As we are highlighting that we need South African property practitioners, we are trying to avoid property practitioners that are outside of the region to answer our questionnaire. So this is the research ethics that we followed. I would like to re-highlight again that the participants that we are selecting for this study are experts in the field. The participants are also allowed to make their own informed decision about whether to participate or not on this survey. We also guarantee that your response will remain confidential. The gathered data that will be reported as it is with no falsification of the results. All the data gathered will be stored or be kept with the PPRA's registry. So I decided this morning just to insert this slide just to show you on the importance of this session. So this is extracted from our data analysis. We can see that people are coming in to view our website or our online survey, but people are not responding. As you can see, the total number of people who tried to respond to this online survey were 311, but yet plus 1,000 people came to view. Then there were dropouts of 220 within that 311 people. So our response rate is sitting on 29.26%. So just to emphasize more on the percentage of data collected, for one to 2 months, we've been sitting on 2%. We're not sure what seems to be a problem. But in the past 4 days, the numbers have increased to 21%. I'm hopeful that after this session, as soon as we identify the problems within the survey itself, we'll be able to be on 80+%. So the data collection tool that we are using is Question Pro. This was selected solely for flexibility. So one can easily just click on the link and start answering the survey. It's very easy as long as you're using your gadgets or digital devices. It's so simple. So this will just highlight what you'll see on the online survey. This is the structure of our questionnaire. It has 6 sections. Section A comprises of the demographics information. Section B is the extent and impact of the PPRA. Section C is the current state of professionalism. Section D is the barriers to entry from the previously disadvantaged individuals. And then Section E has components and adaptation for professionalism. Then the last section is the utilization of professionalism. As one can observe here, we are trying our best to align with the objective for this study to be successful. The question, just another disclaimer, is that our questionnaire is taking a quantitative approach, but there is that flexibility for one to add input where maybe you feel like we did not capture you in all the factors that were given for each and every question. So we are using a quantitative approach. So before we enter, I believe like that my presentation is done. I'll just open questions for now. Then we'll do a dry run survey using our link. Then after that, even during the dry run testing, we are open for questions. You can just put them on the chat or one, you just click, and then if you have any queries or questions or recommendations or comments, just put them on our chat. Then the PPRA team will assist, and myself. Thank you. Can I get the link on the chat session so that people can start entering and answering the questionnaire? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mgomezulu. Let's see if we have questions from the chat so that we can tackle them. I have one from Theron, Doctor. Will this study be dealing with street committees who currently dictate who can buy or sell property in township registered areas such as Kaya? I think is a township, Kaya. I'm not sure where's Kaya, which province. Did you get the question, Doctor?
Yes, I do. Thank you for that question. Currently, we are solely focusing on professionalism, but as Refilo has highlighted that there are so many research studies that we are undertaking. So hopefully one of those research studies will capture what Kaya is asking for, or the respondent to whoever is asking. Kayelisha, yeah.
Yes, Kayelisha.
Are there any other questions before we start?
No, that was the only one, Doctor. We can continue.
Okay. Is the person asking the question captured?
Sharon, please give us a thumbs up. I think it's sorted, Doctor. Let's continue.
Okay, so as soon as Naledi, can you please help me paste the questionnaire or the link on our chat session?
Noted.
Yeah, so that people can just click, then I'll just explain the first 2 pages, then people are allowed to continue with the survey, then give us feedback after 15 minutes. Okay, I'm just checking if it's...
Colleagues, the link is on the chat. Please click to go through the survey questions.
Okay. So I've clicked on my side, and this is our first cover page of the questionnaire. So it will tell you about the topic of our study and also highlight our sector's name, which is PPRA. Then you need to press start. So from there, you'll get an introduction letter, which is informing you of the reason for conducting this study. It will also take you, like, yes, we are saying approximately it will take you 35 to 40 minutes, but it's less than that. As you saw on the other slide, that it only takes 15 minutes. So that is why I'll just allow this session to take 20 minutes. Then we can go back for Q&A again. We've also highlighted the research ethics, which I've highlighted on the presentation. And our contact person is Miss Mamiki, and you contact her via that email. So after that, you will then start your questionnaire, where you just answer. The first question is based on your gender. Then let's just try and attempt the questionnaire. Then after that, we will come back after 20 minutes, I think. 20 minutes for the Q&A, but you're more than welcome to just post any recommendations or chats or questions or whatever you want to post on the chat. Then the PPRA team and myself will answer. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. We are going to just take 10 minutes and we will come back. Doctor will continue. Please look at the link is posted on the chat. It's few questions on the research survey that you would need to answer. For the new property practitioners who have not entered the industry, if you want to complete it after the webinar, if you have questions, it's okay. Let's take your questions after the 10 minutes, then after the webinar, so that you are able to go through the questions. But the professional property practitioners, please click the link. Let's answer the questions and let's come back to Doctor after 10 minutes. The hands, we see the hands. We're going to take questions after she has done her presentation. We're going to also monitor the questions on the Q&A. Before we close, we will take all the questions, colleague. And the meeting is being recorded. We're going to share the recorder. We're going to share her presentation after the webinar. 10 minutes, we will resume. Colleagues, thank you.
Okay. I see Erica Coates. I think he's saying that his is not working. So is that a link they are talking about or what?
Okay, he's saying Mimecast. If you open the link and it takes you to Mimecast, it means it's the settings that you have on your laptop or computer. So it will give you two options, save or unsafe. Please click the button that says save. So it means it's the settings that you would have on your side. If you get a Mimecast, click save, then continue to take in the survey. Dr. Mgomezulu, I think while they're busy with the survey, I have a comment from Faeza on the charts. She's saying, Doctor, that graph of the provinces in terms of transformation is very important. Gender is also very real concern. Can you flesh it to be part of the presentation, please? Maybe she wants you to go high level on it on the next presentation, just to delve on that, the numbers.
Okay, noted. Let me just show it for now so that she can see it from.
I see a chart. My link takes me to 3.1. I posted another link now. Try to click that one, please. Let's see if it takes you to start. And if you're still unable to open, it might be settings on your site. Maybe try Google Chrome, try to use Fireworks, internet, different. Maybe it might be the one that you're opening on. Those who are able to open the link, thank you so much. Let's continue with answering the surveys. And colleagues who are joining the webinar now, and maybe you are asking why we have paused, there's a link on the chat. It's a survey link on the chat. Please click the link to answer the questions. It's not a lot of questions. I think we will be done in 10 minutes. Then Doctor can continue with her presentations. The hands we will take after her presentation. 10 minutes left. We will continue the presentation. Colleagues who are joining, there's a link on the chat. Colleagues are answering the survey. There's a few minutes left before we continue with the presentation. Please click the link. Let's take the survey.
Naledi, can you please reshare the link? Seems like 80% of our participants are struggling to enter. Oh, let me just from my side.
Let me post it again. And I think those who don't manage to do it after the webinar, they will still continue to take the survey and submit. Nkululeko, you're saying it needs an authentication email. I think you need to put in your email address. It will send you a code on your email address. Take the code and you put it back on the Mimecast that will request you to open. I'm going to share the link now on the chat. Colleagues, the link is on the chat. Sorry, I cannot access the survey. I'm not able to participate. It could be issues of network for some. Copy paste the link. The link is pasted, Johan. Please look at the last link on the chat. Okay, colleagues, while we wait, we want to flag a video coming from Dr. Mgomenzulu's office that she would like to share that she did with her team. Let's see if we can flag it for you.
Naledi, there seems to be no sound from your side.
You cannot hear me?
We cannot hear the video.
Yeah, it's playing on my side. I'm not sure why you can't hear. Okay, maybe let me stop the video. I will share the video link on the chat for colleagues to look at the video. There's 2 minutes left, Doctor, to the survey, then maybe we can continue. Are you okay with the 2 minutes, or we can give them more few minutes?
I think let's restart at 14:45 just to start addressing the question and having discussions, because I can see people already have a few comments.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
14:45, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, colleagues. I saw your comments that you cannot open the link. We will share the link, as well as Doctor will also share the link, and you can take it after the webinar. I'm going to unmute so that we take the hands, Doctor, and maybe engage those who have questions to find clarity on this. And if we go to the charts, it's the same issue regarding the sound of the video we will share after, and also that the link is not opening. Doctor, do you want to come in before we go to the questions, or do I take the questions for you? What do you prefer?
Can you please take the questions, because I can see you're almost out of time. Can you address the
Okay.
questions? Yeah.
Okay, I've unmuted everyone. We're going to go to the first hand. Johan, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Just bear with us. Our system today is a bit slower. Johan, please try to unmute. Maybe Johan, he can't hear me. Let's go to Crispin. We'll come back to Johan. Colleagues, can you hear my voice? Johan, Crispin, I see your hands. I'm recognizing you. Please unmute. I gave you access to ask your question. Okay, let me take Leah. I will come back to, okay, Leah's hand is lowered. Johan, please put your question on the chat if you're struggling with your microphone. I had given you access to the question. Okay, Doctor, I think we can maybe continue on your side if you need to add anything before we can go to closing. Colleagues are struggling.
Okay, I can see Sivu had a comment on a question rather on the section. Can you please read it out for us?
Let me see. Okay. All right. When you mention allowing people from disadvantaged backgrounds to join the property sector as part of inclusion, does this mean that funding will be available for those wanting to join? Currently, it is very expensive to enter the industry. I have just started and I'm still waiting for my certificate. I was told it would take 21 days, but it has now been 3 months. Could this process be proved? I think the issue of FFC is related to PPRA because we are the ones issuing a fidelity fund certificate. I don't know if Doctor, before you can come in, Mr. Ashpal, do you want to take that one?
Yes. Thank you very much, Naledi. Sivo, yes, this is something that we're looking at. We basically also going to be communicating with all sectors of the property sectors, of the property practitioner sector, to see if there's any way that we can ensure that costs of entry into the sector are reduced while still maintaining the professionalism of the sector. And insofar, though, as your certificate is concerned, if you could please just send an email to Naledi or to Mamiki. I think the email addresses are there, and we will immediately look into it with the correct registration department and hopefully get back to you and make sure that we expedite that application of yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ashpal. Doctor, do you want to add something or can we move?
I feel like Mr. Clive has covered that question very well. So can we please give Johan another chance and Crispin?
Okay, Johan, please unmute. Crispin? I think they will put their questions on the chat, Doctor. Please also put your email address when you put the question on the chat so that after the webinar, we are still able to respond to you, to your question. Maybe they're struggling with connectivity. They might not be able to hear me because I did give them access to a microphone. Dr. Mgome Zulu, are you done with the presentation?
Yes. I would just like to thank and acknowledge again our collaborators and partners, which is the DSI, NRF, and also like to thank everybody who took their time to.
Doctor, you're breaking. I think the network.
Naledi, could I just say something quickly or not?
Okay. Yes, you can.
Yes, I just as Dr. Ngomezulu was saying, a really big thank you to everyone who participated. Hopefully, you'll all be able to complete the questionnaire and send it through to us. We do need your cooperation, and it is greatly valued. And can I ask a big favor of you? If you'll tell your friends and colleagues also, please, to access the questionnaire. Without your cooperation, without your inputs, our research project is not going to really be successful. So we are dependent on your inputs, and we really do value your cooperation. And rest assured that whatever you say, A, is confidential, and B, will certainly go into the research process. So a big thank you, and please try and get everybody far and wide to answer that questionnaire as well. Thank you, Naledi.
Okay, Mr. Ashpal, before I close, Dr. Mgome Zulu, I don't want to disadvantage you because you were trying to say something and you got cut, and I think it's a network. Maybe while you are still trying to figure out the network, let me allow a microphone access to Mogone. Please unmute yourself. Okay, there seems to be a challenge because on my side, it shows they have access. It could be that from their side, they're struggling. Mogone?
Yes, I am speaking. I'm not sure why you can't hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, fine. Well, okay. What I'm saying is that the questionnaires, the questionnaire, in my opinion, there must be some of the questions which gives more than one option. because there was one question, I think it was possible to put more than one options in terms of responding. Somebody might be working in Gauteng and might be working also in KwaZulu-Natal. That must allow two options. So if you give one option, then, and it's not only that, there are several where I saw that no, there should be, yeah, that's one thing. So as it is, the responses are not going to be accurate.
Okay.
Okay, Chris, Mokoni, I think the questionnaire was designed to be as simple as possible. A, from the answering point of view, and B, from when we do the analysis. So, can I suggest that say you have offices in KZN and Gauteng, rather just put the place where you have your principal office or where you do your most work. As I say, this is one of the research projects. There are going to be many other research projects to follow, and we're hearing you, and we'll definitely take that into account for future projects.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Sivu, please come through.
Okay, so yeah.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. You can ask your question.
Okay, I wanted to find out, I think Mr. Clive already answered, but I was not sure because I joined late, as I said, where the email is where I can email so my information can be looked at with regards to my certificate.
Oh, yes. I will put the email on the chat. It's a stakeholder email, and we will send it to the relevant department, which is the registrations department. They will assist with the registration. I think Dr. Mgome Zulu is back now. Do you want to say a word before we close, Doctor?
Okay, before we close off, I would like to thank and appreciate what Mgone has just said. Can you please list out all those questions that you feel like they need to be adjusted so that we can amend them on our site? I think it's such valuable input that you're giving us. So please list them out and send them via email. I'll share it on the chat section.
Okay, thank you so much. Crispin, we are going to take your questions on the chat because you are unable to. Colleagues, I want to thank everyone who joined. We all know that PPRA as a regulatory body for property practitioners, and now we have taken on new categories, managing agents, auctioneer, and the idea is to professionalize the industry. So we will be doing more webinars on different topics to assist new practitioners to understand what is it that we do as PPRA. And, you know, today's webinar, because it was focused on research, I'm sure what we've taken from Dr. Mgome Zulu today, the takeaways is that, you know, that the database of consumers, they're still going to work on that, and it will come in the future. And now this survey is focused only on property practitioners, especially to see the code of conduct that they have to abide with if they're complying to that. And your responses, colleagues, are going to be confidential, as she stated in the meeting. And you can see the stats also that she highlighted, that the numbers are low for the responses. We plead with you, colleagues, that once you get the link, which we're going to send as well after the webinar, you click and you take the webinar, you take the survey so that we can increase the numbers, because I think it's important to acknowledge that the reason why we're trying to do the surveys, it's in respect to transformation. And we know that there's more people who are coming into the sector, new people. They need to understand that this is a professional, this is a career, and we really need to take it serious, especially if we really want to transform and bring more diverse people into the sector. So the research is meant to do that, to check where are the gaps, where are the barriers, so that as PPRA, once we get those findings, we're able to implement and correct so that we can improve, not only to assist you, so that also the generation coming after you, they find the sector that is, you know, beefed up and rooted in a proper compliance and regulations, so that it can become the professional body that it's supposed to be. So colleagues, I thank you so much today for joining the webinar. The colleagues from Transnet, we see you, we appreciate for you for joining the webinar. We're going to do more webinars on the 24th of October. We will highlight more on the PPRA mandate, auditors' reports, registrations, the topics. We're going to announce them on our social media. This recording, we're going to share it on our YouTube. Please go to our YouTube, PPRA TV. You're going to get more recordings from the previous webinars, to get at least understanding of what is it that we are trying to do, because we are always inviting private sector, public sector, different companies to empower you so that you are aware, especially, as you are trading and encountering a lot of issues on the ground as you are dealing with consumers, because you need to be protected, they need to be protected. So thank you so much, colleagues. We're looking forward to receiving those surveys. We're going to post on our social media the link today. We're going to email you the link. We're going to email you the presentation. Dr. Mgome Zulu, thank you for the wonderful presentation you did today. And Ms. Refilo Mashiku has left the meeting. We thank her for the introduction she gave. And Mr. Ashpaul, thank you for taking some of the questions related to PPRA. And I think we can adjourn the meeting. Thank you so much, colleagues, for joining. Those who are driving, please drive safe. We will meet in the next webinar. We'll communicate. We appreciate. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Naledi. Bye, everyone.